Guys, I could play between the 2, the 5, and the 1 chord for hours. So excuse my indulgent intro, but we're talking Auld Lang Syne today, first of all. What a beautiful theme. I hope you guys are having fun with this one. We're also talking about the holiday challenge that we've been running here over at the interactive app, which I hope you guys are all subscribers and members of, by the way. And we're doing something special today. We're doing a giveaway, all right? We're giving away a free annual membership to that interactive app. We're actually giving away 3 memberships today. The first 2 winners are going to win a free annual membership. That final 3rd winner of the evening is going to win an annual membership and a free keyboard, a Playground Sessions PG150 keyboard. It's really going to be a fun night, you guys, and I really want to lean in on you, yes you, in the chat to steer this lesson. Help me figure out what to talk about today. I want to give you guys a real live lesson. I want us to have some interaction. And to me, what that means is I want you guys to write questions or comments about Auld Lang Syne. Let me know if you're having trouble with a certain measure, a certain chord, a certain hand position, a rhythm. What is it? Tell me about your journey on Auld Lang Syne. And if you haven't worked on Auld Lang Syne, you still got to write me something, you guys. Let me know how the challenge has been for you with the other 2 songs. And you can write a question or a comment about those as well. We're talking about the holiday challenge, and to remind you guys, we've asked you to share yourself learning, whether it's a photo, a video, whatever it is, learning, playing, something from this offering. We got We Wish You a Merry Christmas, Silent Night, and Auld Lang Syne. We're going to be picking the first winner very soon. First, let me set this up for you guys to tell you how you can enter for a chance to win. We're going to paste a link in the chat right now, and we're going to pin it to the top. That link is going to take you to a landing page. That page is going to ask you for your first name, last name, and email. That's all you got to do, guys. You do that, you come back here and meet me back here for the stream, all right? Anyone that goes and does that is entered for a chance to win. We're going to randomly draw from that pool. Now, for those who joined in the previous lessons, if you entered and you did not win, you are not entered automatically today. You got to go re-enter. We're only pulling from people who entered today, which should be good news for you, right? That lowers the pool a little bit of possible winners. So you guys, we've already picked 6 winners. 3 the first stream, 3 the second stream. We're picking 3 this evening. And we've got a little special extra thing up our sleeve as well for this evening. I'm really excited to be here. Enough talking, you guys. Auld Lang Syne, you guys. Now, this is a New Year's kind of theme, right? But New Year's, of course, is on the heel of the holiday season. So to me and to many of us, it feels like it belongs in that holiday music family, even though it's not really a Christmas song. And I love the sort of the melancholy, bittersweet emotion that this song evokes, especially when you compare it to something like We Wish You a Merry Christmas, which feels traditional and happy and bright in its harmony and in its tempo. Auld Lang Syne can often feel a little bittersweet, right? There's a little twinge of sadness in there with the new year, maybe. I tend to like music like that has a bit of the yin and the yang, right? Just like real life. So guys, I'm gonna go put my attention right now, full attention to the chat. And I want to ask you guys to hit me with some questions about Auld Lang Syne, some comments about Auld Lang Syne. And one more time, if you're just joining, click the pinned link in the chat here, put your name and email in, and we're going to be drawing at random tonight to pick 3 winners. We're giving away annual memberships to the interactive app, as well as a grand prize of a keyboard at the end. So guys, I'm playing Auld Lang Syne. We have this thing in the key of F major, and I'm going to talk through a bit of the melody and the harmony here, but let me head to the chat now and say what's up to my fam here. J Riz, what's going on? Bro Shoe, Heather, Layla Nicole, XO, Jerry W, what's up? Kevin Murray, you guys are writing questions. I'm going to get to them. I just want to shout your names out too and say thanks for joining. Robert Atkins in the building. Hey, Jeanette Meets. JC1, what's up? Les Mis, 66. Michelle Ferrario, hey. Tom Alonso, Kevin Murray, you guys rock. I love seeing such a busy chat. Jean-Louis Blondin, what's up? Bonjour from Deerfield. Uh, Chris Galeski from Winnipeg, Canada. What's up? Tuning in. Lawrence Spearings, hello from Belgium. Very cool. We got a global audience today. We got Charlotte from North Carolina. We got Old Man Williams in the house from Nottingham, UK. Oh, none other than Chris Vance is in the building. You guys. Chris Vance. Give it up for our fearless leader, you guys. Chris is our CEO, for those who don't know. Chris is the top of the company here. He's steering the ship, but he also gets down with us and talks about arrangements and playing the piano and the joy of music. He's a great leader, and we're happy to have him. Show some love in the chat to Chris Vance. What's going on, Chris? Wow, what an active chat. I'm so happy to see it, you guys. All right, here's some questions that I'm seeing, and I'm going to focus on one or two now before we pick our first winner. And we're picking 3 winners today, you guys, so this is going to be fun. All right, Daniel Nader's in the house. Daniel was one of our winners from our last stream, you guys, or maybe it was 2 streams ago, but Daniel was a winner from the chat. Thanks for joining again here, Daniel. Chris Vance says, Theron in the house. Heyo. Yep. Oh, Theron's in the chat too? Oh, this is awesome. We're going strong tonight, you guys. All right. So I'm going to try to find here a question or a comment about Auld Lang Syne, and we're going to get it going. Jeanette Meat says, I've been working on Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. Christmas time is here, and Minuet in G. Very cool. Sue Beckett, I got shoulder surgery, so Auld Lang Syne is on the back burner. But been working on We Wish You a Merry Christmas and Silent Night instead. Well, hopefully your surgery went well, Sue. I'm glad to hear you're pushing through. But don't be afraid to rest as well. Do what you got to do. The piano will be there for you. Jerry W. just starting on Auld Lang Syne tonight. Very cool. Jerry, let us know, what level will you be choosing? Are you a rookie, intermediate, or advanced? All right. Bro Shoe says, I always get stuck at the broken chords and the drastic chord change at the end. Bro Shoe, let me know, what level are you talking about here for that? I can pull that up for you and talk through that. Jay Riz, been working on I'll Be Home for Christmas. Very cool. Kevin Murray says, question, how can we add sevenths to jazz it up? All right, I'm going to spend 60 seconds or so on that because this can kind of apply to any song, including Auld Lang Syne. And I'm going to keep it basic, though. When we talk about dominant seventh chords, yes, that can add a jazzy tone to things, but if we make every chord in a progression a dominant seventh chord, it can kind of make our ears a little bit confused. There's a theory answer that can elaborate on that more, but I think for now what I want to say is let's not only add a dominant seventh, let's consider adding a major seventh and a minor seventh as well. There we truly can really add a seventh to any chord. First we need to know our scales though, right? So our first chord is F. That's an F harmony, right? So if we were to add a seventh to the major chord here of F major, well, we need to first know that we're in the key of F. So this is the 1 chord, all right? So what would the 7th be? Well, for the 1 chord, it's a major 7. So here we have a major 7 chord. That could work, yeah, why not? Now the next chord, you could say might be G minor. If we add a 7 to that, we have to know our scale, our F major scale, to know that the next note in sequence would be F, right? So that would kind of make it jazzy, to your point, right? If we add that 7th. Ah, I like that, right? So part of what makes something sound jazzy, you're right, is adding these color notes, these upper extensions. Often that means sevenths. But also something that makes something sound jazzy or not tends to do with the way we stack the notes in the voicing as well. And that's a bit more of an advanced lesson. But this is a great start, adding sevenths and even ninths when you're ready, things like that. That's really going to get you in good shape if you're looking to sound jazzier. All right, one more question here, guys, and then we're picking this first winner. This is going to be a good one. All right, here's something from Robert Atkins. The poem's Scots title may be translated into standard English as Old Long Since, or, less literally, Long Long Ago, Days Gone By, or Old Times. Robert, that's so cool. Thanks for sharing that trivia and the context behind the title. To me, that kind of adds to that sense of that melancholy, bittersweet emotion, right? It's like you're looking forward to the new year, but you're also looking back on days past, right? Very cool. Thanks for sharing. John Anderson, Merry Christmas from Chicagoland. What's up? Oh, Theron Brown says, I'm sounding great. Theron, stop. No, you're sounding great. All right, guys. Here we go. One more. Maria McNamee. Working on the intermediate version. Broken chords are challenging, but with lots of practice at slow tempo, I'm starting to get it. Maria, thank you for sharing this comment because this was almost like a prompt or a question and the answer built in. You totally nailed what I was going to say at the end of this thing, so well done. The broken chords are challenging, but with lots of practice at slow tempo, you're going to start to see progress. And progress looks like you're just able to recognize the shape a little bit quicker. You're able to play through the notes a little more effortlessly. Think a little bit less about, what's coming next. You'll get there if you just practice repetitively at a slow tempo. So you got it. You're on the right track. Happy holidays from New Orleans, Judy Barr. What's up? Guys, let's go ahead and do this. We're picking our first winner right now. If you just joined, we are asking you to click the link that is pinned to the top of the chat. You're going to put your name and email in, and then give it 2 or 3 seconds. It automatically pops up on our end into a little list, and we're pulling names from that list. Our friend Andrew, who is helping so much with these productions here and helping to moderate the comments and to provide the links, is going to help me by selecting the winner now. So, drum roll please. We're going to pick our first winner, and that first winner is going to get a free year of full access to the Playground Sessions interactive app. Drum roll please. Let's see if I can get a piano drum roll. Different effect, but we'll take it. Winner number 1, Layla Rodriguez. Layla Rodriguez, you win! Layla Rodriguez, you win! This is a fun thing, by the way, I'm doing. I'm making up a song for each winner. So there's your song, Layla. Congratulations. This goes for all the winners for this evening's stream. Here's how you redeem your prize, all right? So Layla, you just won a free year of Playground Sessions interactive app membership. Within 24 hours or less, you're going to get an email from somebody at Playground Sessions support team. It's likely going to be Andrew, who I just referenced, okay? Andrew will reach out and say, hey, you win. Here's the steps to activate your free membership, all right? So keep an eye out for that. Our next winner, same idea. The grand prize winner at the end of tonight's stream is going to win the membership and a keyboard. Same idea there, okay? So keep an eye out if you win for that email. Now, guys, we're talking Auld Lang Syne. Ooh, we'll leave it there in suspense, huh? I'm not going to resolve that chord. We're talking Auld Lang Syne, and a few of you have referenced some of the challenging chords that come later in the piece. One of the beautiful things about this piece to me, and again, something that adds to that bittersweet emotional quality, is the use of diminished chords. I love diminished chords, and that's what I just ended on there. Now, for the rookie arrangement, we're not playing full chords. We got a melody and a single note, but the harmony is still implied there, even if it's a complicated chord like diminished. So you're not left out here. You are still playing diminished chords as well. But a full diminished chord is defined by being built by intervals of minor thirds. All right, now that might sound like a lot, but if we go to the overhead camera here, I can show you that we have intervals of minor thirds. Really, we're just counting up by 3 half steps. Pick a note, and we go 1, 2, 3. Okay, there's my next note, minor third. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3. Okay, there's my next note. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And it continues to go up like that. So you have a long chord that sounds very suspenseful, especially when it's used in kind of a style like a silent movie. Maybe that's where you've heard a diminished chord before. You might hear it like this. I can't think of a more suspenseful chord. The harmony sounds crunchy, and if you play it like that, it really ratchets up the tension. That's a diminished chord, and we see that in between some of these major and minor chords in the Auld Lang Syne progression. Ah, so satisfying. And one of the reasons it is so satisfying is because of what comes next. The diminished chord provides the tension, the conflict, right? The following major chord provides the release, the peace at the end of the battle, right? So we have this tense diminished chord that wants to resolve to here. It's the sigh of relief at the end, right? Our protagonist is okay, right? The suspense is over. We won. Whatever your analogy is, that's the effect of that harmony. It's one of the things I love the most about this piece, and it's why diminished chords are probably my favorite chords. Let's check in here on the chat. What do we got going on here? You know, I love when you guys are so active and busy that I can't even find my spot. This is awesome. So I see a lot of people saying congratulations to, was it late? Was it Kayla? Layla? Where'd it go? Layla. I might have called you Kayla on accident before. If I didn't, ignore me. But Layla, you were our winner, and I see a lot of people saying congrats to Layla. By the way, I just want to give a shout out to you guys, the community. We have such an awesome, supportive community here. Whether we're talking YouTube, Facebook, doesn't even matter. I'm just talking about playground session students, all of you guys who are learning piano with us. I see such an inspiring, positive, and encouraging community every day. I just want to say thank you guys for showing up for each other. We see people posting videos of their progress and other students chiming in, congratulating them. Also sometimes answering questions to other students as well about things like music theory or practice tips. It's really, really cool. So if you're not an active member of these communities just yet, I would highly encourage you to join and jump in with the rest of your fellow students here. Anyways, congrats again, Layla. Here's a performance question from Tom Alonzo. Hey, Tom. Do we play better with a few New Year's libations under our belt? Or do the listeners hear it better with a few drinks under theirs? Or both, or neither, right? That's funny. Yeah, that's the question, right? When you feel like you're hit your sweet spot, maybe that's just in your mind. Maybe the reality is you tend to get a little sloppier when you play music without your full focus and attention. Let's put it that way. But I hear you. That's funny. Jeanette Meets, bravo. Layla. Yep, everyone's happy for Layla. Guys, we're still picking 2 more winners today, so stay tuned, and you still have a chance to win if you've entered. All right, here's one from Jeremy Shilley. I have a question. This may be a bug, but when I use your app, sometimes it won't play out loud, and it will only play the piano and not count in or the metronome. So Jeremy, I'll just touch on this quickly. What I'll say is you want to get comfortable with the toolbars across the top. You can toggle stuff on and off, and you can customize your experience. But sometimes when you shut the app down, you might restore your, what do you call it? You might get restored to your default settings. Is that what it's called? So you might have to go back in and tweak your volume settings and things like that. Jeremy, if you have other questions about technical stuff about the app, our support team is really, really great. They get back to you quickly. They'll help you through whatever you need. So I highly encourage anyone to reach out to support@playgroundsessions.com. Andrew and the rest of the support team are really helpful. And they're also musically knowledgeable as well. I want you guys to all know that. So they'll take care of you. Marcus says, sorry I'm late. Marcus, we were waiting for you. I'm just kidding. No, hey, it's better late than never. This reminds me, for those who are just joining, click that link that's pinned to the top of the chat. Enter your name and email real quick. It takes 10 seconds or less. We're going to pick 2 more winners. We've already picked one for today. We're giving away an annual membership to our interactive app. And we're also giving away a keyboard to the grand prize winner. Okay, so stay tuned for that in just a bit. We're going to pick our second winner here in just a minute. I'd like to play a little bit more and answer some questions. I see someone here, JC1 says, I had the first question, but you didn't answer it. JC1, I see you. I'm scrolling to the top. Here we go. Thank you for getting there first and throwing it in there first. I'm going to take a minute to try and find it. JC1, if I can't find it, I'm going to ask you to type it again, and I promise I'll get to it. I may also ask Andrew to help me find it and send it over to me. JC1. Looks like J space C space 1. JC1, thanks for writing in. I'm going to get to your question here in just a minute when I can find it. In the meantime, Kevin Murray asks, what is it called when you roll the chord? I like at the end of a song, instead of playing the chord whole, you roll the notes from bottom to top. Very good question. Good point. I very much like to do that. I think it's a nice tactic to end a song or even just to end a phrase is to kind of slow the momentum down. You might hear me talk often about slowing the tempo down when we get to the end of a phrase. Well, this kind of rolling chord effect can also add to that kind of slowing down effect to end a phrase. And so typically when I end something, I'll do that. I'll say, that was technically like 7 notes in a row, but we wouldn't notate a bunch of like 64th notes to play. It's really just one chord, and I'm rolling it like this. Oh. Like that, okay? Think about it like you're a guitar player. Guitarists are playing 6 strings individually, one at a time, if you think about the physics behind it, right? But it's fast enough that it sounds like one unit. It's one chord being strummed once, even though it's made up of 6 individual strings or notes, right? Think about rolling chords kind of like that. If you roll them too slow, it turns into like a rhythmic melody. It doesn't feel like one chord anymore. It doesn't sound bad, but it's not a chord anymore. It's like a little melody. If we go too fast, we lose that rolling effect. So we want to find a sweet spot in the middle, something like this. And I like to also repeat things sometimes up an octave and up an octave again. It's one of my tricks. Don't tell anybody. I'll go. I think anything done in 3s just seems more intentional, seems more like that was what we were supposed to do, right? So that's part of that. But the rolling chord thing it's all part of the same thing. How do we make it sound like we're ending? And the rolled chord, you actually nailed it in your question. I think it's called a rolled chord. You could also come from top to bottom, which is a different effect. Kind of feels like a dreamy, like you're kind of waking up from a dream. It almost feels like you're starting something instead of ending something, right? Like we just did. Great question. Charles Smith says, I think rolling the chord is called arpeggiation. Okay, this is a great point. So, Charles, this is where we get into the subtleties of the speed of the rolling, okay? When I said if we roll too slowly, it starts to sound like individual notes. That's actually what you're referring to. If we do that, if we play a chord shape, C major, let's say, and let's go to the overhead camera for this. If we play C major, we play it again. Play it again. That's not a rolled chord, right? That's a block chord. Roll it, roll it, roll it. Still sounds like 3 chords. If I slow the roll down, it's going to sound like this. Instead of... Now, if I do that, then Charles is right. That's an arpeggio practice right there. We are arpeggiating through that chord shape. And it's a very fine line between that and this, which feels like a rolled chord. And I guess it is a little bit subjective too, but it's all about the difference in the timing between the notes. When you start getting into the nitty-gritty, if you can hear every single note, it's kind of more like an arpeggio, like a melody, like Charles is saying. If you're really looking for that rolled effect, you want the sweet spot between an arpeggiation and a block chord, all right? Great question, you guys. One more question, and then I'm going to get to this second winner. You guys have been patient. You guys have been active and positive in the chat, so we're going to keep that moving. But Kevin Perry says, Phil, I noticed playing broken chords came in the rookie boot camp prior to regular type chords and intermediate. I sort of expected it the other way around, just asking. Okay, so Kevin, without being familiar off the top of my head with all of the chord lessons across the tours, I'll tell you this. In the rookie level, we don't introduce block chords until much later, potentially at the end of the tour. But again, when we talk about broken chords being a melody at the end of the day, then we can see that it can be more accessible for rookies. A melody, a broken chord, an arpeggio, those can outline a chord shape without having to play the whole chord shape at once. And often with rookies, what we find is if we have to play a lot of notes at once, it can be physically tricky, so we try and simplify in that way. Broken chords are kind of a weird thing because the word chords is in the name, but practically speaking, you're kind of playing a melody. You're outlining a chord, all right? Now, in the intermediate tour, we also introduce things like chord inversions, and I believe we also add 7th chords towards the end as well. So there's just different kinds of chords and different ways we can look at chords and learn about chords. It's not necessarily a clear, linear, one step after the next, like a staircase for chords. We can look at it from different angles, okay? I hope that helps, and I want to also just say that we're adding new bootcamp content pretty soon here, so keep an eye out for that as well. There's been some holes in our curriculum in the past, and we've identified in part by listening to your guys' feedback, so we're going to be producing some new lessons soon. All right, guys, I think it's time for winner number 2. Winner number 2. I think it's time. I'm waiting for the winner number 2 graphic to pop up. Let's see if we can get that going. Yeah, winner number 2 time. Here we go. All right, so let's get some winner number 2 music. Winner number 2. All right, that works. I'm just purposely making this awkward because I want to extend the suspense for you guys. Oh, that reminds me. We need a suspenseful chord. Anyone remember what this suspenseful chord is called? Winner number 2, my friends, is Rosalind Johnson. Rosalind Johnson! Rosalind Johnson! That sounded a little like Layla's song. I gotta work on that. Rosalind Johnson! Congratulations, winner number 2. You win a free full year, all access membership to our interactive app. And I also want to remind you guys, if you're already a member to Playground Sessions app and you win, that's the perfect opportunity to gift this, journey of learning music that we all know is so rewarding. If you have a friend or a family member or a loved one that you think would want to play and you already have a membership, be our guest, pay it forward. I know they'd love it. It's a great gift. Congratulations again. So that's Layla and Jocelyn. Congratulations, you guys. We're going to pick a final grand prize winner at the end of today's stream. And as a reminder, here's how you enter to win. Tap the link that's pinned to the top of the chat. Enter your name and email, and we're drawing from that list of names, okay? The grand prize winner is also going to get an annual membership and a Playground Sessions PG150 keyboard. Speaking of the PG150 keyboard, I'd like to send to a little video. This has become one of my favorite, it's like a Christmas tradition at this point, to pull up a video of our very own Theron Brown playing our very own PG150 keyboard. And this is the same keyboard that our grand prize winner for this evening is going to win. Same keyboard that our last 2 grand prize winners have already won. So I'd like to let's take a few minutes to enjoy Theron Brown playing a Christmas classic on the PG150. You guys, Theron Brown. I can't believe the talent on this guy. What's funny is that I think I remember the session correctly. Theron said, I said, Theron, can you come through to the studio? He's like, sure. I said, hey, check it out. We got a keyboard, Playground Sessions keyboard. Play something. And it was around the holidays. I think that's what he played, guys. Yikes. So I'd be practicing for months to get on that level. But guys, we love Theron. Let us know in the chat if you've been enjoying his lessons on the YouTube channel. If you want to see more from Theron, let us know. Maybe we can make something happen if you really want to see more of him. All right. Well, what I want to do here is try and get one or two more Auld Lang Syne questions in. And I really want to encourage everyone, if you haven't done it yet, you got to click the link, sign up quickly. It takes 10 seconds. You might win a grand prize, okay, of an annual membership to our interactive app and the PG150. Theron was playing the PG150, you guys. He was playing, it's kind of like an electric piano Rhodes type of sound that's built into the keyboard. So of course it has a piano sound. It's got that Rhodes sound that Theron made sound incredible. It's got strings, it's got an organ, it's got, you know, all the sounds that you'd like to explore. So it's also kind of a fun pro tip to try some of the other sounds on the keyboard when you're playing along in the app, just to mix it up a little bit. But that's the PG150. Elta John says, is that a full-size keyboard? Elta, great question. It's actually not. Now, it's kind of a myth that you need an 88-key keyboard to play the piano. Now, of course, if you're playing a piece that requires those notes, you need them, right? But the vast majority of students, I'm talking even until you get pretty up in the intermediate into advanced level, you don't really ever need those extended 88 keys. Now, if you got them, great, okay? I'm not saying don't get an 88 key keyboard. But you can work with 61 keys and you can get a lot done. In fact, I think it's 99% of the arrangements in our song store are playable on the PG150 keyboard on that 61 key range, okay? So it's a 61 key keyboard. Let's see, I'm trying to think of the terms. It's not fully weighted keys, but it's, thank you, semi-weighted, which of course means it's volume sensitive, touch sensitive, you can have dynamics, all of that stuff. So it can really get you a long way. We're really excited about it, and we're happy to be giving it away for the holiday season. So congrats to our 2 grand prize winners from the last 2 weeks. We're going to be picking our final grand prize winner in a matter of minutes, you guys. I want to have a couple more questions and comments answered in the chat. Oh, I see all caps, more Theron! From Brett Bell. That's hilarious. Yeah, I feel the same way. I want to type in more Theron from myself here and type it in as well. I want the same. Let's see what we can do about that. All right, Lily May. Hey, Lily May. Is there a certain chord style that is better for accompaniments than other? Ooh, that's a great question. Chord style. I assume, Lily May, you're kind of piggybacking on, we were talking about like broken chords, rolled chords, block chords, or you're talking about the jazzy chord question from earlier, sevenths, ninths, things like that. Oh, wow, I already lost the question. That's how fast it went. You're asking about basically chords. Okay, certain chord style that's better for accompaniments than other. Here's the main thing I'll tell you about accompanying. You got to stay out of the way of the melody. This is a hard job because you need to support the melody, but also get out of the way of the melody, okay? And that can be tricky. Now, if you're playing a piece that's written out for you, you don't have to worry as much. Just play what's on the page. But you need to listen still to the person or instrument that you are accompanying. You need to make sure you're following them and taking their lead, okay? Now, when it comes to chord styles, I think it's just going to depend on the piece that you're playing. A chord style in one piece that is an accompaniment piece might be appropriate, but inappropriate in a different piece. It just is going to depend on the piece. I will tell you, though, that dynamics are a big part of this, too. Staying out of the way of the melody sometimes means not overpowering it with volume, okay? Think about some of that stuff when you're accompanying. And let us know, who are you accompanying? Have you been jamming with someone? Are you playing with a singer or an instrumentalist? What's the context here for the question, Lily May? Let us know. Kevin Perry said it sounded like a glockenspiel setting. Interesting. The Playground Sessions glockenspiel is coming next year. We're not ready for that yet. That's funny. Still a cool keyboard. Yes, it is, Elta. Heather says, I love its sound. That's it. Here's a question. Elta John says, is there a trick to playing accidentals? Elta, you got to think about accidentals as something that kind of means you're changing the key signature. So flats, sharps, naturals. These are examples of accidentals. And so I guess it would depend on the instance, whether it's difficult or easy to play. But I'll tell you this, part of it is going to be having an understanding of the key that you're in and the notation for that key, right? So if you're in the key of G, you got to know all Fs are sharp. And the trick to playing the accidentals is really just remembering that you have to play them. Once you remember it, it's just pushing the button, right? Just like another key that you're pushing. So really, it's about the preparation and your mental awareness and understanding of the accidental. Less about the technique of physically playing the note, okay? If you're feeling like it's tough to play accidentals, it might be because of that. You might need to think through the scale a little bit more of the key that you're in, okay? Kevin Perry says, you need to sell those big fingers, like the sports hands with the big finger that says, go Theron on it. You got fans bouncing up with that. That'd be funny. Well, guys, we're going to pick our third winner here in just a bit. I'm going to play a little more of Auld Lang Syne, and then I'm going to play one more video. Now, these videos allow us to, take a little breather. It allows you to go to that link in the chat if you haven't done it yet and put your name and email in, okay? So we're going to play another video here in a moment to allow you to do that. But I'm going to just give another kind of tidbit on Auld Lang Syne. The root movement is really cool in Auld Lang Syne. We use inversions in a really cool way, okay? Now, for those who don't know, an inversion is just you're taking a chord and you're mixing up the order of the notes so that a different note is on bottom than what usually would be on the bottom. So for example, let's go to the overhead camera here. If I'm playing an F chord, well, in its standard root position version, we see F on the bottom. But if I invert it and I put the F on the top, for example, now this is still an F major chord. Same three notes, it's just a different order, but it has a little bit of a different personality. And to me, that's because we have different notes on the top and bottom. Now if we invert it again, that is still F, still same three notes, still a different personality, right, than both of those other versions. So if we invert chords, we kind of get a lot of use out of one harmony. We play a chord and then invert it. It almost sounds like two different chords, a progression even, but it's just one harmony. So I like to do this with Auld Lang Syne, and I think that the bass kind of purposely is playing some of these inverted notes, not the root. And I want to explore that for a minute. So we have F, G, F, and then check this out. So that chord that led to this chord right here, that was sounding like a new chord, but it was actually just the same chord as the one I played before. It was just in an inversion, all right? So I play the first chord, da, 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 da. The first chord here is F, and then I play F over A. All I'm doing is inverting it up, and it gives a whole nother character, a whole nother personality to that F chord. It provides some forward motion as well to move up to resolve to that B flat. So this is another one of those things that kind of adds to that melancholy feel. Not to keep harping on that, but a first inversion major chord kind of has that mix of, it sounds like it might be major, might be minor, I don't know, it's a little bittersweet, right? That's what I think, at least. And that's what we see in Auld Lang Syne. It's very cool. Kevin Perry says, fingering is a big part of playing accidentals and knowing your scales. Thank you for adding that. Knowing the correct fingering, the appropriate fingering, will help you play accidentals. You're right, there is a physical aspect to it. My point was that it doesn't always mean you're playing a black key that is out of reach. Sometimes an accidental might be a white key. It just depends on your key, okay? So you might find some awkward shapes. That's the takeaway. And so, of course, you want to practice the correct fingering and hand position. It'll make it easier to play those shapes. That's correct. Thank you. All right. Oh, hey. Is this JC1 question? Yeah. Okay, great. JC1, I didn't forget about you. Here's your question. Are you supposed to take your eye off the notes when you make hand positions changes? This is such a great question. Okay. Here's this question. So you're looking at the notes in the app or in a notation in some form, right? You're looking at the page, not your hands. And that's generally the way you want to do it. You want to make sure you're in the right position, and then you need to look at your notation to know what to play, okay? Now the question is, when you have to change hand positions and get out of the position that you were comfortably in, can you look down? Can you look away from the notes to do that? The answer is absolutely yes. I don't want you to think that there's one right way all the time and one wrong way all the time. It's going to depend on the context. It's going to depend on what's happening in the music. If I'm playing a piece of music and for 4 measures, everything is just right here, I don't really have to look at that. But the next measure, what if it went like this? F, F, E is not very hard to play, but because I had to jump outward really fast and look to the right and left, it was kind of tricky, right? So that's an instance, I just made that song example up, but if I saw that in notation, I would say, don't look at your hands for the first few measures, but when you see that jump coming up, you gotta look down, you gotta glance down. Here's the trick to keep in mind when you're looking down and reading music. You gotta make it quick, you gotta look down and back up, so you have to know what you're looking for. You can't take too much time. You can't say, okay, I gotta find F over here, there it is. All right, find F over here. Yep, there it is. All right, I'm ready. All right, you can't take too much time. You gotta jump, it's a split second. So I like to teach that you gotta look for one goal note. Well, in this case, you're just going to a note. But even if you were moving to a whole chord shape, you just want to find one note, just one finger to one note. Pinky to F. That's all I'm thinking, okay? Looking at my notes, look down, pinky to F. Already looking back at my notation. That's what's happening there, okay? And it all happens in a split second. So we're really trying to slow it down here to walk you through the steps, but that's what's happening on a step-by-step basis. Look down, goal note, finger going there, look back up at the notation, pick back up where you left off. It's one of the great tools of Playground Sessions, the interactive app, is that scroll bar that's moving across. Because if you need to look down at your keyboard and look back up, you can easily catch where you are in the music by finding that scroll bar again. Guys, it's about that time. I'm gonna play a quick video here, and then we're gonna pick our grand prize winner, all right? Last time I'm gonna remind you guys, click this pinned link. It's going to take you to a page to enter your name and email. That's where we're pulling the winners from, okay? So do it now. I'm going to play a video. It's probably a minute long. For those who are new to the YouTube channel, this is just kind of like a little teaser for our channel. You're going to see a little bit of me, a little bit of Theron Brown, a little bit of David Sides, a little bit of our newest teacher, by the way, Amy. Sorry, y'all. If you haven't checked out her lessons yet, we're going to be posting some more soon. Let us know if you're digging Amy's lessons as well. But that's the video you're going to see. If you haven't done it yet, use this time to enter your name. On the other side, we're going to pick this grand prize winner, and I'm going to have a special surprise for you guys as well. I saw a lot of comments in here about, more Theron, more Theron. I think I pulled some strings. I think we got something up our sleeve. So I'll see you guys in just a minute for the grand prize announcement.
Welcome to Playground Sessions YouTube channel.
You can add range down in the left hand, something like this. It's really important that you're able to kind of play within these chord shapes if you really want to bring this stuff to life.
You can access it anytime, anywhere. The more time you sit at the piano, the better you get. It's as simple as that.
You pick any key and then go up 3 half steps to get the final key of the chord. I'll show you what I mean. So let's start on this C.
Between me, David Sides, and Theron Brown, and the rest of the Playground Sessions teaching squad, we love the piano. We love sharing our knowledge of music. So again, thanks for joining us. I'll see you guys on the next one.
Surprise, surprise, Theron Brown here. What's up, my Playground Sessions fam? I made it. I can hear you all from my computer screen, so you know what? I teleported over. I was like, Phil, I can make it. I gotta come. say hello to the people that are, piano lovers like me. And guess what? It's Christmas time, so I had to put on a shirt. Don't mind this. I bought it and I didn't realize it said that. Oh well. Anyways, it's so good to be here. And you know what? Because you asked in the chat, I felt all this love. I'm going to play a song for you. I'm going to play a Christmas song. I hope you all have a Merry Christmas, of course, before we get to our winner. But here we go. Christmas time is here. One of my favorite. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. One of my favorite Christmas songs. Love that one from Charlie Brown, of course. Okay, again, thank you all so much for the love. And also, Phil, thank you. You do such a good job teaching. I even learned a whole bunch. Yeah, come over here and say what's up. Get my fist pound for Phil. That's right. Okay.
Hey, you want to pick the winner?
I think it's
Grand
time
prize?
for the winner. Yeah, I'm
Do it,
excited.
man.
Okay, let me look here and see. Check the screen. Okay, we got the winner. Are you all ready? We're gonna do. Phil, you did like a piano roll, not a drum roll.
Yeah,
How did that go?
Roll?
Okay, I'll make one
Yeah.
up. Oh, I got one.
All right.
Actually, I'm gonna teach it to the guy, to the folks here. Okay,
All right, yeah.
we're gonna play a G and then a F sharp triad.
Ooh.
Here's our drum roll. Okay, it is Brett Bell.
Brett Bell!
I am
Brett Bell!
Brett Bell. I'm not a singer like Phil, so I can't make up a little song. Congratulations, you are the grand prize winner. This is so exciting. Folks, this has been fun. Thanks for having me here. I don't usually get to do this, so this is a good time. Phil, I think I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Yeah, I'll come back.
Is that cool?
Let's do
All
it.
right. Folks, I will catch you later. Playground sessions. Keep having fun. Merry Christmas to you all. I hope you have a wonderful time with your families, and I will check you later.
All right, guys, I'm coming back. Brett Bell, winner number 3. You nailed it, my friend. All right. Ready? All right, and we're back. It's so nice to have Theron in the building, you guys. Now, a lot of our Playground Sessions team is in New York City or in Utah or kind of spread around. I'm really lucky that Theron's in my neighborhood. We went to college together, and so very, very happy to have him on board and that he can pop over and join the live streams. Guys, once again, Brett Bell, our grand prize winner. Brett Bell. Brett Bell. Yeah, you got this, man. So, all of our winners, here's how you're going to get your prize, all right? You're going to get an email from Andrew at support@playgroundsessions.com. He's going to tell you how to redeem your prize. And Brett Bell, that's also going to be next steps for receiving your free Playground Sessions PG150 keyboard. One day, maybe all of us can be able to play that keyboard like Theron did in that Christmas video. But either way, guys, I hope you enjoy the keyboard. I hope you enjoy the memberships. I hope you had fun during these live streams. And I hope you had fun for the holiday challenge. Now, there's one more thing I want to tell you guys about. And we've really just talked about this in our Facebook community so far, but I want to give you guys a little chance to try this yourselves. If you're not in the Facebook community yet, go join the community, because this Friday, at the end of this week, 4 p.m. Eastern, that's December 17th. I'm picking 3 more winners, you guys, but we're going to do something different. We're not giving away a membership. Everybody in the Facebook community is, well, presumably is a member already, right? And so what we're going to be doing is giving away a one-on-one lesson with me, all right? Now, you guys do a lot of lessons with me in this format, but it's definitely hard for me to get to everyone and give everyone the attention that they deserve. So 3 lucky winners from Friday's Facebook live stream are going to be selected to get a one-on-one lesson with me. We'll schedule it out. It'll likely be after the holidays, but we'll do a 30-minute lesson where I'll be able to see you, you'll be able to see me. I can weigh in on your actual performance. I can give you some tips, for improvement. If you have specific questions for me, we can have a direct conversation. It'll be fun. I've done this with a few students in the past. It's been a blast. So we're giving away 3 one-on-one lessons with me, and we're going to be giving them away during the live stream in the Facebook community Friday, 4 p.m. I hope to see you guys there. Otherwise, guys, have a great rest of your week and a great holiday season. I'm sure I'll see you guys here in the communities. I'll check in on your progress there. I'll see you guys soon.